Right, welcome to DC Vigilante. So everything seems to be looking up for the Joker. Just recently I seen a video of everyone in the cinema giving it a standing ovation. Now I know you may have seen some posts saying, "Oh, they weren't standing." Believe me, they were. And Joaquin Phoenix was up with his couple of his co-stars and probably director. They were on the balcony, and you see everyone at the bottom bit stand up, turn around, and clap at at Joaquin Phoenix, who's on like the first level, and he's looking down and he's like that, and then there's people behind him looking down at him and clapping as well, and it's just fantastic. Now I know there's people out there that are going to go, "Oh, it's not a part of the DCU, or it doesn't count, or I'm not interested because such and such should be Joker, it should all be connected and everything else and stuff." And no, listen, it's DC, okay? And what you've got is you've got the ultimate bad guy. I mean, this is a character really that came from, or kind of, I wouldn't say a rough background, but from a cheesy sort of background in a way, if you remember the Batman series. And you would never have thought, probably until Jack Nicholson played him, that the Joker would be one of these iconic bad guys in comic book history, and he's changed throughout the years, in the comics, and he's, I remember reading some of his stories, but it wasn't until something like A Death in the Family came about when you actually saw, wow, this Joker's different. I think that was the first time for me. I don't know, I can't mind what came first. Was it The Killing Joke or Death in the Family? Whatever happened anyway. But for me, reading wise, it was A Death in the Family that I read first. And I noticed, it's a guy with a crowbar and stuff. But again, he's one of these characters, because he's a maniac, he has all these different personalities, so it doesn't matter what actor portrays him. You cannot, whether it's Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, it doesn't matter, because it's all aspects of who the character is. One minute, he'll want to kill and rob a bank and keep the money, and the next minute he throws the money away and burns it and not interested. So he's, he can be played anyway, but to have an origin story, based on something like the Killing Joke, was a huge, definitely a move for Warner Brothers. It was a brave move as far as I'm concerned, because you've just had Warner Brothers and they buggered it up. Okay, Warner Brothers buggered it up by going all light and Disney-fied by Justice League and Aquaman and Wonder Woman. And you're thinking, that's it. It's finished. We're all going to get these so-called light movies and stuff, and then out of nowhere comes this movie, and after the first trailer, wow, it made people question it. Just like it did with Ben Affleck, when people questioned Ben Affleck, then they seen one scene of him, and then no, he's a Batman. So it's so what does this mean? What does it might mean? Nothing whatsoever. It's a standalone film. Warner Brothers will carry on, but by the looks of things, the other movies like Birds of Prey, I've heard there's scenes of a hammer getting thrown and a bit of violence there, and they're trying to make this woman movie sort of violent and not kind of Ghostbusters anyway. So for me, what it says, right, what it really says is you have these great characters in the DCU, and if done right, it is possible for a comic book superhero to be given an Oscar. It really is. It's and you just need, as I say, you just need the right director and writing and everything. Otherwise, because some people have said on the set of Joker that this isn't a comic book movie. It is. I'm sorry, it's a comic book movie. It's based on a character from a comic. Okay. And all the other surrounding characters are from comics. It's a comic book movie. Comic book movie doesn't need to have superheroes in it, or for me, something like this is something that Disney would be envious of course. An Oscar, and to me, I'd like to think, and I think I've stated this in my previous video. Probably leave a link, or I might not. I can't. This may be a turning point for DC. If this movie, and it's looking likely to become a hit, a success. So one article actually reported that it could actually make just as much money as Aquaman. Or even more so, because it's a low budget movie, and this is somebody, one of the people behind the scenes actually said, we want to keep it low budgeted, which is nonsense, because Justice League could have been a real big profit if they hadn't just got lost millions in redoing it. If they just kept it the way Zack Snyder. So as I say, if Joker becomes a success, Warner Brothers needs to sit down and think, we could have already been at the stage just now with a Dark Universe. If we carried on with, say, Zack Snyder's work, we could have already had this sort of Dark Universe to play off on. And when I say dark, what I mean is more realistic, dealing with the characters. Because you have Batman, who's a vigilante, and I thought it was perfectly played in BVS, and somebody that's at his wits' end, especially if he has to deal with something like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker or Jared Leto in the insane society, having to deal with all this stuff, all the craziness, all the killings and madness and stuff. So you've already set this sort of universe up. Now, for me, say Man of Steel, that to me is Oscar worthy on so many different reasons why. And I'll tell you why. Because of the way it's done, it's a whole new origin look at a beloved character. The cinematography in it was fantastic. The the score, brilliant. The themes throughout the film, excellent. The editing and stuff like that, and it felt fresh and it felt new, and in a way it raised some questions. Things like immigration and stuff, outsiders, people that are different, belonging to someone or to somewhere, and to me, yeah, there's so many reasons for Man of Steel, apart from music, cinematography, the acting, the special effects that was in that movie, for the budget it was doing. It was, for me, it was up there. For me, I mean, I don't. when I think of Bohemian Rhapsody, right, which the critics hated, but somehow won Best Picture and got an Oscar for. You know, so it doesn't matter what sort of, and I hate this, and I've been seeing it in the back of DVDs, certified tomato. When is it, right, people in the know, like you and I, that it matters what certificate it gets from Rotten Tomatoes? The company that we know is has the hands in Disney's pockets. So how can we take their word ever serious now? You know, and for those of you who say, oh, they're not in Disney pockets, do your research, look into Fandango, okay? Look how Captain Marvel was treated, okay? How it was protected. And then, of course, we reach Batman versus Superman. I mean, apart from the great cinematography again by Zack Snyder, apart from the music score, apart from the a very fresh original screenplay, you had themes throughout the movie, symbolic of either religion or past fictional stories. You had great special effects. You had great costumes, great stunt coordination and stuff like that. The list is endless. Okay, I couldn't come out with every certain technical aspect of the film, but for me, yes, that could have won an Oscar. And I tell you, for instance, Suicide Squad, right, won an Oscar for costume. Okay, now you look at that film and you don't think there's not much special there about makeup and costume. It still won an Oscar. And BVS, to build that suit, to build the Batmobile, or to build it, just about anything in that film. From Doomsday to the Batplane to the fighting techniques from the Batman warehouse scene. It is from scenes shot in the desert and everything else. It combined a lot. The writing was fantastic. So of course that to me deserves an Oscar. Despite, as I say, put all the critics' feelings aside, you look at the Ultimate Edition, you have, for me, what should have been a real good contender, because here we have now a Joker movie, right? Now, let's go back again, Aquaman, right? Aquaman doing stuff with water that hasn't really been done. We can talk about The Abyss, which to me I hope won an Oscar, with the strife it went through, but with Aquaman it was something different, something vastly different that no other company had braved to do before. And so, let alone that should have won one. Wonder Woman, with the nods to the World War airplanes, the way it was shot, the colours and everything else, the costumes, period pieces and stuff like that, the music. The list is endless. It's like every DC film should have had. It doesn't, just because there's a superhero in the film doesn't mean it doesn't deserve an Oscar, because Joker has proven that a story with somebody going psycho is worthy of an Oscar. Then what is Batman doing when he actually comes back from the brink of despair, when he actually loses it and becomes, judge, jury and executioner, and T is losing his mind through the dreams and everything else he's having? Those are characters. Man of Steel, you have Kal-El, confused in what he should be doing and where he belongs and everything. These are all deep, heartfelt stories alongside the Joker. I know I've blabbled on. This is about like 15 minutes just now. I'm going to get back to reading The Flash, Terminal Velocity. So yeah, it's what is it? So for me, yeah, it's overdue. An Oscar for DC. I mean, I know, yeah, we got one for Suicide Squad, but it really is overdue. And it's funny enough that most of the people that played Joker have either won an Oscar themselves or are up for one or whatever. So to me, yeah, it proves that yes, DCEU can go dark. DCEU doesn't need to copy Marvel. It doesn't need to be joking every 2 minutes. Okay, we didn't want a funny Batman in Justice League. We wanted somebody, a Batman, that could go up against somebody like the Joker, like Joaquin Phoenix or Jared Leto, somebody that has issues deep. I mean, as we know, Batman and Superman are both mentally mixed up. You know, they're constantly at war with themselves and what to do and what not to do. But all we need is a good enough story. And I bet you, if you can take whoever made the Joker and set him to write a story for Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, we could have a really good psychological adventure with these superheroes and gain an Oscar. I'm not seeing anything lacking in Chris Terrell, but again, forget special effects, forget, the need to see these heroes fly and fight every 5 minutes. We don't need that. What we do need is a story about our superheroes that concentrates more on what's going up in there rather than what's going here. And a dialogue, so we get into the heads of these heroes. And that to me is, and see, when you listen to somebody's inner dialogue in their mind, it becomes even more kind of cinematography sort of way, cinematic way, because you're watching a guy going and hearing their thoughts and getting more deeper into the story. So yeah, there is still space for one of our superheroes to get an Oscar. But let's raise our glass, raise our cups, and be joyful that DC has made this movie, The Joker, because it may lead to many, many, many more directions into either releasing the Snyder Cut. It may lead to directions of a more serious DCEU and more serious superheroes. That's my truth. This is DC Vigilante out. Thanks for watching.